Let me bring in my guests. Professor Rakesh Sinha is Member of Parliament of the BJP. Syed Naseer Hussain, representing the Congress. We have Dr. Ajay Dua, former Industry Secretary, and Dr. Secy Cabinet Minister of Government of West Bengal. Before I bring in the politicians, I want to understand from you, Dr. Dua, when you look at Finance Minister's clarifications and also counters that came together today, would you say that you have reasons to feel that the economy is in safe hands?
Sure. Let me start by saying I did find the Finance Minister's reply, as she herself had said that she's going to be political. It was full of rhetoric. It answered all the 8 or 9 major criticisms which the opposition had raised, but at the same time, it wasn't devoid of reality. Having said, what I did about it being a political and good political speech and used a lot of rhetoric, I say this from the 2 or 3 points of view. While defending the government's position, she did point out that most of the inflation was imported. It was because of global factors, because of the commodity prices having gone up around the world. And then she went on to compare the Indian economic situation with the neighborhood, with what the US is finding, and what's happening in China.
Yes.
So all this was so far in defense of what the finance minister had said. But she did quite reveal that when the CPI crossed 6% and it stayed there for 4 or 5 months, the WPI, which measures more the producers kind of inflation, yes, or producer-driven inflation because the weightage of production items is higher there, it was 14 to 15%. So second, we do have figures that the unemployment-wise, the unemployment has risen in recent months. We don't have cases of extreme poverty, as the finance minister quoted the UNDP report that we are not going to be suffering in that extreme sense, but certainly our dollar having fallen, our rupee having fallen vis-a-vis the dollar, it made imports costly for us. They brought about inflation. So whether the management of the rupee...
Dr. Dua, here you are saying that yes, it was high on politics as well, but not devoid of reality. So let me bring in the politicians now, and I'm going to begin with you, Naseer Hussain. The charge that came from Finance Minister there was that all your arguments or the opposition's arguments related to price rise, GST, has not been driven by data, but it is more to do with politics. So my question is, did you get answers to all the concerns that you have raised on price front?
Maria, I think the country has debated enough in the past 2 weeks on the length and breadth of our country. Let me ask the government straight away, because after this minister speaks, there will be no speeches from the opposition. So you cannot counter the minister's speech there. In the parliament, when the minister speaks, you should always give a couple of members from the opposition to ask clarification, which was the norm, which was not allowed today. Let me just ask you straight away, is there no inflation in the country? Is GST not levied on food products? Is petrol, diesel, gas rates have not gone up? Is there no unemployment in the country? Has not the people, those who were put above poverty line during the UPA time, 20 plus crore people, have not gone below poverty line? Has the growth rate not decreased? Has the growth rate not decreased? Was the growth rate not around 3.5 to 4% before COVID? So these are, see, if you say recession nahi hoga, there will be no recession. You speak about the present thing. Don't you think the people, the garib, the aam janta, the awam of this country, when they step out of their houses to buy groceries, to buy vegetables, to buy meat products, to buy milk products, don't you think they are feeling the pinch? They are not. Don't you think they are feeling the pinch? Why are the people agitating all over the country?
The concern here is, where is the relief? And is the relief in sight? Food items are spectacularly high. Diesel and petrol costs are burning pockets of middle class. Where is the relief? The question is, did Finance Minister's speech answer that question?
I heard two voices, one Mr. Dua and Naseer. Both are on the same plane and same voice they are speaking as the government. Now let me respond to them. You know, when you are so pessimistic that you imagine that India would fall in a very bad shape, without any concrete evidence, without any concrete empirical facts, I am giving two important things. The inflation is 7%. Go to any part of the globe and find out the inflation. Compare India's inflation. During the UPA regime, 2004 to 14, the inflation was in double digit. We have kept inflation in the single digit, that is 7%, despite COVID. Don't undermine the 2 years the entire world suffered. And that suffering is impacting on the US economy. That suffering is impacting the China, that 4,000 banks are collapsing. 4,000 banks are collapsing. In India, you cannot claim a single bank in a distress. It is only due to Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision and action, who has led the consolidation of the bank. And that consolidation had the Indian banks in the same position as pre-2014. We would have seen many banks collapsing. That would have been paved the way for the collapse of the Indian economy. Second important thing, that the GST collection is a one parameter how economy is growing. 1.40 lakh crore GST collection, fifth consecutive months. Is it a small amount? Is it not the sign of how the trend of the economy? And you say economy is in recession. Bloomberg survey says that Indian economy there is 0% for the India's recession chance. How you say India would go in the recession? But most important thing, which the economists and the opposition parties should underline that. You cannot see the economy in a just like separate ways, that they are divided from one block to other block. Okay. It is a holistic manner. 80 lakh people are getting food, and that 3.4 lakh crore rupees have been spent. This year only till September, the total expenditure is 80,000 crore. Don't you link that to Narendra Modi's welfareist measure? That is substantive, there is no symbolic. Indian state has departed from this symbolic welfareism to substantive welfareism. You just remember the pre-2014, right from Prime Minister Nehru till Manmohan Singh. Everywhere symbolism. Farmer symbolism, the direct digital transfer to the farmers. Is it not the service of the common man?
Naseer Hussain, a quick rebuttal from you, and then I bring in Dr. Shashi Panja.
No. Yeah, the two people have spoken. Okay, let me give me 30-40 seconds.
Yes, I agree with Rakesh Sinha on that. Yes, okay. Another 30 seconds for Rakesh Sinha.
Naseer, you speak later on. What I say that the economy is interlinked. You cannot divide the economy, this part, that part, this. The expenditure on the toilets, construction of the toilets, 10.9 crore toilets have been constructed in this country. Lakhs of homes have been delivered to the poor people. Earlier, the priority of the Indian state was corporate houses. The priority of the Indian state and Indian economists have been the upper middle class. Now, the priority of the Indian state and Prime Minister Narendra Modi is the marginalized people who are 80 crore people.
Okay, Naseer Hussain,